Hi guys, welcome back to Fata Morgana. Today we're going to be looking at some of the chapter 8 choices that we haven't read initially. Some of them lead to dead ends and some of them are also meaningless choices, as in they don't lead to any ending and the story doesn't change depending on the choice that you've selected. Sorry, I'm just going to find it hard to concentrate on my voice with the vocals. Oh, okay, let's just go to the concert hall. Music stops here. But yeah, we're also going to be looking into some of the dead ends, hopefully seeing some interesting stuff. There are a few dead ends that I have seen so far, an example being this one. If you click tell him everything, as you can see here, Mel just totally thinks that we're mad, and then we obviously have Jacopo and Yukimasa. He snitches to them, and then as a result of that, well, yeah, I think let that sound effect and the visual of the blood in the bottom right do the talking, basically. So, yeah, firstly, I think I did I am God first time. Let's do I was sleeping in a tree next time. Let's just get a bit of context first, like we usually do. This is a fun song. I love these instruments. I do wonder what they are. Yeah, that's interesting. Just totally passed out in a very unknown world. I think this is the best line in the visual novel. Yeah, God, he's really finding it hard to get used to the situation. God, Michelle. I think just seeing at the beginning of all of this really just gives you an indication of just how much Michelle has grown. Seriously, he's so different here. Yes. Fair enough. Well, yeah, not the best idea. Well, I think Michelle would be, well, let's be honest, he wouldn't be able to stand up at the moment without screaming in pain if he was like Mel at the moment. God, actually seeing Gazelle, it feels weird after everything that has happened. That's hilarious. Yeah. And it also doesn't explain why Michelle seems totally mad. I think I recognise this dialogue. Yeah, God, he totally lied. I think it would be really funny if Michelle just then told Mel his entire life story. Fair enough. I mean, to be fair, I suppose the good thing about a trait like that is you're going to be made a lot less suspicious. Oh god. Yeah. Yeah, I can tell. It's not just one, it's two young girls who are dying. Nelly as well. I know, it's sick. Yeah. Oh, that's everything different. I'm still reading it because I'm interested. Yeah, yeah. I know. That's a good belief to have. Love this theme. Oh, shit. True. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Things are getting a bit irrelevant now. That was fun. Right, so I suppose the next choice is obviously this one, where we can either tell him everything and get completely suspicious, or we can just not. I think this is another meaningless choice. Oh yeah, is this, like, what do you love most in... Oh, no, okay, what does my Mel like most of all? I wonder if we're going to be able to not advance on to the next part if we don't realise something, who knows? Maybe he's a groomer. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, and it doesn't help that he's literally imprisoned Morgana as well. Michelle's got a weird relationship with Morgana. They're not exactly friends, but at the same time he really, really cares about her because obviously she is understood by him. Yeah, but I suppose we're doing this to be able to tell Nelly about all of the things that are going on with Mel, and then as a result of that, have her convince Mel to hand the key over. But obviously that didn't go the best, and we kind of adapted it. I think I chose this one last time. Wait, let's see. If I press skip. Yeah. He's a spineless chump. Wait, do I have that saved? What? Oh. Yeah. Naps. Yeah, fair enough. Reminds me of chapter 1. Yeah, Michelle saying he's not compatible with Mel. Yeah, fair enough. I knew he was going to say that. Reasonable. I mean, that's true. And it is interesting just how much how much he remembers Didier, even though obviously he was the person who killed him. It's just interesting how kind of ingrained into these people, into Michel Didier is. This is gonna be funny. Gosh, she doesn't look amused, and neither does Gazelle. Michelle making a joke? What the fuck? How? Yeah, fair enough. I love that no matter what we say, we get to this outcome. Right, theatre. Yeah, he thinks really highly of her, and doesn't surprise me. Yeah. Unfortunately, it is kind of the case, and it's weird because you're being kind to somebody else, but at the same time you are being quite selfish yourself, because obviously you're doing that kindness just so that you can convince yourself that you are someone who's worthwhile, really. Scrutinize other men. Yeah, let's do that. What was he exactly? I thought scrutinise meant criticise. Alright, so examine or inspect closely or thoroughly. Okay, that's not really what I was thinking. Okay. Oh god. Oh god. Michelle, no. No. What? No. I can't believe he fell for the bait. Gazelle has a right to say this. Michelle should just stop joking. True. Dude, you're literally staring at a little girl, but okay. I like that. Gazelle growling, oh god. Oh god. Just totally. Michelle has left the server for a second. And now he's back. Oh my god, now it looks like he's kind of gotten sidetracked by staring at her. This is not going any better. True. So you're just kind of brushing off the fact that he's staring at you? Okay. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah. Yeah, we're going a bit off topic now. I just kind of wanted to remind myself what... Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Oh god. What the fuck? You can use your scroll wheel to... Oh my god, I genuinely never knew that. Well, that's a good realisation. Holy shit. Okay, anyway, last set of 3 choices. I think we've seen this choice before. I mean, I don't really think it's excessive. I just think it's somebody who really cares about her brother. And let's be honest, Nelly has nobody else, and it must be awful, especially because of how you can see how sociable she is here. And I think that just really shows that she's lonely. She doesn't really get many opportunities to talk to people, so she just wants to make the most of anything she has, really. Yeah, of course she would appreciate Mel so much. I mean, he is the solution to her loneliness. Let's actually be nice about Mel now. He can have his head in the clouds. That doesn't make it any better. Gazelle's pissed off, of course. Decently handsome. I just love with all of these choices that these are the only ones where we're actually nice to Mel. Who is Adonis? Oh, right. Okay. Well, his statue is very revealing. Jesus Christ. Dude, piss off AI overview. Right, here we go. No. So a youth of remarkable... Ah, right, of remarkable beauty, okay. And is it a man or... He. Oh god. So he's a youth of remarkable beauty. What the fuck is going on? He's a youth of remarkable beauty, and yet he was product of incest with a father and a daughter. Alright. Yeah, that's just a bit concerning, okay. Yeah, you can really just see from these choices just how much Nelly idolises Mel as well. God, that is a reasonable thing to say, but at the same time, I mean, my God, she's aspirational, and then you're just gonna crush her dreams, or what? Is there gonna be something different that happens? Two heads taller, God. Fair enough. Damn. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, that was quite fun. What have we got now? Is this a meaningless choice, or...? Ooh, we get a dead end if we do stay here. Right. So obviously this is not what we have done. Right. God, so we're this far in, and yet there is potential for it all to go wrong. That's interesting. So I suppose Nelly is never ever going to have a relationship with Mel again, because she's just going to totally be put off now that this has happened. And then I suppose as a result of all of that, they're going to be on way worse terms, and who knows what will happen. Yeah, and you just see Mel totally having a breakdown. And also, I suppose you're prioritising Mel because obviously he is somebody who is having a lot of grief. But at the same time, I think Nelly is the most important person here, because she really does have the potential to change anything. He won't have the drive though. I mean, how can you convince somebody as shocked as that to go after Nelly? God, look at Michelle just totally shouting. Yeah, fair enough. This would never have happened, and as a result of Michelle telling the truth, ironically, everything has just gone wrong. Michelle spilling the beans, as it were. In lots of other occasions it would have worked, but here it just totally fires back on him, and it ruins this relationship. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, fair enough, things were fine as they were, but that's the only reason that's the case is because nobody knew what was truly going on. God, look at him, he's getting properly angry. To be fair, I think this is a totally reasonable question. Because, let's be honest, in this ending, Michelle was just intruded on their lives, and nothing has really happened apart from kind of the worst result of the truth. And that is their relationship just totally falling as a result of it. Yeah. If he wasn't here, their relationship as brother and sister would have been fine. God, even Gazelle's trying to intervene. Yeah. Isn't it interesting just what this can do and just how much Michelle has to make in terms of risk for all of this to work. But why is he going to listen to what Michelle's saying? Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, but the only thing is, I suppose it's kind of cowardice in a way, because you don't have any hope, and you're just thinking that your situation is the final outcome. It isn't, and that's obviously proven in the other choice. God, is he becoming violent? Oh, I see. You have got to be kidding me. Is he actually going to threaten him? Is he actually going to kill him? Well, is he really? Well, we do actually, but yeah. The interesting thing about all of this is that you can kind of see Mel kind of normalizing murder as a solution just because of the fact that he's done it once before. Well, he's not really done murder, but he's ruined somebody's life in the most disgusting way, which is kind of like murder in a way, but the only thing is they have to live rather than die. Live through tons of pain. So I suppose that kind of normalizes murder in his head, because let's be honest, normally Mel would not dream of doing something like this. He wouldn't. No way. Yeah, but what if something like this had happened? Would he continue not to deliberately harm somebody? Yeah? That's interesting. So I suppose instead of ironically, instead of trying to fix your problems, you just create more because you think that there's no turning back and there's no hope. So you just don't really care about doing things that you never ever would normally do. He's trying so hard to convince him. It looks like maybe he might have been convinced. Yeah, God, I wonder what's going to happen. If I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect that. Yeah, he's totally shaken. What's happened to Nellie, I wonder if she suicided. Because let's be honest, the only reason she had any point of living was Mel anyway. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, so he just thinks that he doesn't have the courage to solve everything with Nelly, and he thinks that everything is over anyway. But to be honest, he kind of thinks only for himself that everything's over, and he doesn't really think about what this could cause for Nelly, and that's the problem. I think she's going to have suicided. Yeah, that is fair. I mean, to be honest, I can totally see why he would think that. I mean, who would ever be able to think of themselves as a good person while doing what they are doing to Morgana? I mean, let's be honest. I think that is a bit of an obvious question. Yeah, and it's interesting. I suppose in a situation like this, it's interesting how, let's be honest, Mel is never going to be able to get through to Nelly just because of the fact that he is the person that has completely changed. He is the person that Nelly is actually going to listen the least to, if you ask me. He just doesn't have... Oh shit. Is he dead? Oh my god. I did not expect that. Wow. He's been killed. Yeah. Oh my god, isn't it interesting? Blood completely covering Gazelle. Yeah. Yeah, and isn't it interesting? He just totally goes mad with stress. Because stress is a theme. And let's be honest, when we're stressed, we act impulsively. We always do. I mean, I know it's not really a situation like this, but I've been noticing that for a lot of decisions I've made. And even if you tell yourself that you're acting impulsively, sometimes you just instinctively do it. Yeah. Fucking hell. Oh my god, so he's now really shocked about how he has really impulsively acted. Yeah. Isn't it interesting? Yeah, so now, like I said, you've created more problems for yourself where you could be solving this problem. oh, I just put a candlestick through your neck, but rest assured I didn't mean to. God, yeah. Who are you gonna get? Yeah, God, she's just totally forgetting about the fact that she's not in the real world. Probably having a total panic attack. You really think somebody like Mel is in a fit condition to get a doctor? God, it's so hopeless. She will. Yeah. She doesn't even care. She just out of the mansion, I suppose. Yeah, God, there we go. Yep. And everything still happens as it does before. And then after the dead end, we get happy romantic theme. So, what's this choice? Oh my God, is this the taste in woman choice? I think it might be. Also, how many? I thought we had a lot more choices left. Do we really not have? So, I think I forgot to... Yeah, I forgot to do the save in Revolution. And the choice where we can either abandon Georges or go back. Wait, hang on a second. I think... Yeah. What a weird combination of sound effects. God, I love this scene. Let's see if we can get it. Which choice did we... I think it was yeah, reach into the darkness. Oh, this is going to take years. Let's go to... title... Chapter select. Yeah, I completely forgot about this. Let's just get it from... Wait, no, what am I doing? No, dude, we're meant to get it from the other one. Wait, hang on a second. Is this... No. Okay, never mind. I'm going to have to spend years skipping for that. Okay. That's not really a problem. So, yeah, I suppose now I'm just going to try moving my monitor up, see if that's... Oh, yeah, that's... Might be a bit weird to get used to. But, yeah, I just kind of wanted to try it. So I'm kind of arcing my back a bit down to read the text. Anyway, this choice is going to take years. Let's begin it now. So is it just one choice or is it more than one? Yeah, okay, so there's the choice with Maria. And we've actually seen both outcomes of this choice. So I suppose, yeah. Who did we do? We did the prostitute next. Right. Should we just remind what was said about this? Oh God. She has a really, really childish view. Let's be honest, people were very desperate, so people would not think anything about prostitution. Sometimes. Yeah, for most people. Sucking on people. I'm sorry, I had to. What do you mean? I mean, she could be, because she does want to kill the Lord. She is still driven by a desire for vengeance. Obviously, she was, if you ask me, she was a lot worse of a person in chapter 3, because obviously she's not gone nearly as far in this chapter. But Jakop's father did worse things to her family, the Campanellas, as a result. Sorry, in last part, in chapter 3, so kind of makes sense. Oh my god, this is gonna be fun. So, I'm sorry, Michelle, but I'm gonna make you look like a paedophile. Right, here we go. Oh god. Oh god, everybody's reasonably concerned. Even Gazelle, she definitely doesn't look amused. That's the first thing that's said. A bit. Well, don't say it, surely. Surely that should be like something that you should think about. Maybe not saying that he fancies people like Nelly. Well, not people like Nelly. I meant people as old as Nelly. Pauline justifying paedophilia. I mean, fair enough, but some of them are not very legal preferences. True. Dogpiling, oh god. Oh god, let me guess, it's because she's a nice person rather than obviously body. God. She thinks of you as a brother. Oh god. Technically incest. Nah, I'm just kidding. Does it justify having romance with a child though? Oh god. I mean, even Nelly thinks this. true. What? How do you prove that you're not a paedophile? What? That doesn't prove anything. Michelle Bollinger quotes right there. In children. There we go, that's made Gazelle happy rather than, where was it? Yeah, shock. Fair enough. Oh god. What? This really can be taken out of context. Oh god. Dude, that's the first thing you go to. I mean, she is a prostitute, so it's not really that surprising, but still. And Michelle probably... He doesn't really think about people like this, which is quite surprising, but he's just never really had that type of thought, really. Yeah, the person that you love is listening to every word. Oh god. Wait, hang on a second. What? No way. Did he actually say it? Dude, I wanted... Okay, maybe let's sound a little less weird. It would have been funny if we saw that. So I wanted to see it. As in, Michelle is not a paedophile. Oh god. Oh god. Totally. I fully understand. Yeah. I think I know what I'd rather be. Tortured by Amy or this. She's literally in his head. Fair enough. Yeah, and of course she would know that. Who isn't? I just think it's really quite funny. Yeah, Michelle justifies it in a non-romantic sense And then, obviously, everything's realised. Oh my god, I just really wonder what Michelle said about Gazelle's body. I just wonder, imagine if he went into detail, like, if you read Higurashi, imagine Keiichi talking about his favourite waifu. Or, I don't know, Kameda. If he likes anime, actually, I don't know if he does. Apart from very obvious thing in Tatari Goroshi that's mentioned, which has something to do with Angel Mort. Yeah, but imagine how they would talk about their favourite waifu's bodies, or Sonozaki Mion as well. That's kind of what I would have hoped to see Michelle doing for Gazelle. That would be so funny. Anyway, now we're going to fall for a nun. A nun. Oh god. Oh god. Scandalous. Forbidden love. Like... I'm sorry. Says the person that is literally having, not really a relationship, but feelings for Yukimasa. True. Save you a pity, what? Yeah, fair enough. He just said it because he was pressured. Oh god. Fair enough. I mean, one's a prostitute and one's a kid. But one is also somebody who is a nun, who should have forbidden love, so all of them are tricky options. All of them have something that's bad about it. I mean, yeah. Yeah, fair enough. I just really wonder sometimes where people create slang like this. Anyway, yeah, saying that in front of Nelly, good idea. She probably doesn't know what it means. Oh god, oh god. World of end of the world. I love that. Oh my god. Yep, that's very subtle. Fair enough. Oh my god. So yeah, he's totally lost everything, every touch with what's going on in front of him. Isn't it interesting that she kind of corrects herself? You do get an indication that she could possibly have fallen for Mel. Right. Dude, she's actually... Oh my fucking god. I hope Maria's joking. I really hope she's joking. True. Jesus Christ. Well, that was enlightening. That was quite funny, to be fair. Oh god. So when we saw Michelle probably give an essay about Gazelle's body. Oh my god, could you imagine if somebody's really into somebody and they just write an essay on everything they like about, I don't know, their body? That'd be so funny. Go on, what the fuck am I saying? To me, I bet you'd see something like that on 4chan or Reddit or something like that. Oh god! Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Especially because homosexuality is just really, really frowned upon at a time like this. You could be executed for being gay, surely. Silence. Oh yeah, I love you so much, Gazelle. Well, I don't, but this is an impression of Michelle. But yeah, I'm gay. Imagine. Yep, she knows as a prostitute that she is not going to get anywhere. Oh my god, could you imagine if there was a choice where we could actually... I mean, I get that this is not an eroge, but imagine if there was a choice where we could fuck Maria. That would probably be really quite sick, to be honest. I can imagine somebody like this being very, very... I don't know, just kind of... well, unpleasant in sex. That's a reasonable thought from Nelly there. What? She sounds very serious. Is Mel that unattractive? Oh god. Oh god. The Lord. What about the Lord himself? Yeah, of course Pauline is concerned. Yeah. I think he goes out with sane people, not murderous psychopaths. Oh god, of course Maria's watching. How long did it take for this to be committed? No! It's a woman! You can be yourself around, okay then. Yeah, basically, you can have a partner who's a woman, and then you can have Maria, who you can fuck, because why not? You're going to make me sick. The text cut out there. I love that. Oh god. Love can take many forms, as in what? Prostitution? Jesus Christ. I don't blame him. Fair enough. I mean, he could have literally just said that he's already known somebody. Pauline's turn. Isn't she really boring? Yeah, their story. Oh, not much. Oh, right. Okay, yeah, she just totally changes the subject. She won't mention Yukimasa. Right, so we've already done this ending. I don't know if we actually have time for one ending, but looks like we might not have a choice. Let me just check quickly. So obviously, it's better to be safe is the last dead ending. Hang on a second, we should get an achievement for doing all the dead ends, and yet I've not got it. Yeah. Do you know what, let me just skip through all of them and get all of them real quick. Cool, there we go, we've got the achievement. There we go. Does that say the weakest main character? Yeah, so they kind of put it, they said incompetent hero is the achievement, but I suppose if you interpret it literally, it could mean like the most weak main character. Saijaku no Shujinko. Anyway, yeah, so I suppose now we are going to look at the last two endings. So, I think the first one is this very next choice. I just want to check. Yeah, so shove the Lord aside. Oh, this is going to be exciting. And then we'll read the last ending tomorrow, which is the Revolution ending. Yeah, and then we've got all of the endings. Okay. Yeah, sounds fine. Right. Which choice? Yeah, this one. Yeah. Right. Here we go. Ending number 7. So we are going to shove Jacopo aside. So as a result of that, we are not going to learn anything about his past. Yeah, my god, he's just going into a total fucking fit. And I suppose we have come so far, and yet we are still not going to be able to change anything. Yeah, my god, Michelle just totally rubbing salt into the wounds of his guilt. He's literally offering the key, but that's going to have no benefit to Morgana and obviously the white-haired girl. He's determined. Not deaf, not an imbecile, just determined. God, he's just totally shouting. Yeah, and he's going too far now because obviously the Lord is really provoked and he's just lost entire control. Totally resorting to murderous instincts. Yeah, my god, and you completely forget about the torture that Yukimasa has put you through. Yeah. I'll rip your fucking head off. I just find it really interesting that I suppose this darkness is kind of an indication that Michelle has the same powers of as Morgana, but I suppose this is all Michelle's illusion rather than Morgana's illusion. So it does kind of make sense that we can force somebody to see the past. Yeah, my god, is he killed? What? The Lord dies rather than... Oh my god! The Lord dies rather than Michelle. I'm surprised because the dagger was pointed towards Michelle. he's swimming. I like that. Yeah, that does make more sense. Interesting. Yeah, so we just resorted to murder rather than us being able to see the past. It is actually quite surprising that this never happened in the other ending, if I'm going to be honest. But I suppose the past forces the Lord to look back and to drop everything, I would assume. Do you know what? I do want to check though. Where are we? Here. So he's dumbfounded. And I suppose then people were a little bit... So I suppose in this choice, people were more distracted by the darkness. And then obviously he's forced to watch it. And the body and mind have swallowed up entirely. Now, if I remember correctly, after this, everything returns to the same scene that happened. But then obviously the dagger is dropped. I will just check though. Let's just skip through all of this because I just kind of want to know. Come on. God, this is a really painful story. I liked it though. It was nice. It was painful though. Sanctus playing. Gotta love it. Yeah. Yeah, God, piercing the wooden floor by his face. That's scary. Right. Save, not load. There we go. That will be useful for getting the choice for the next ending. Anyway, now let's go back to In Pursuit of the Truth and finish this. Yeah, but Yukimasa acted on complete instinct, yeah. Oh God, that must be terrifying for him. Yeah, Yukimasa's used to seeing it, but for Mel. I don't know about Michelle, though. I mean, obviously he's seen the events of Chapter 2, but still. I just think it's so interesting how inaccurate some of the earlier endings are. The fact that we can actually convince ourselves that we are the white-haired girl who is a part of Morgana's soul. And they probably all would have been. He probably would have just completely lost everything. Like that point in Chapter 5 where Gazelle just loses everything, loses all hope, just completely breaks. That's what would have happened to Jacopo, if you ask me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't have. Yeah, that's an interesting outlook on it. Well, you can't talk to the dead unless you were in the realm of the dead. Technically, none of these people were alive. Can I just mention that? Yeah, what are they supposed to do now? They have to try and save Morgana, surely. god, it just feels so much less dramatic with him not being there. They have to, it's the best they can do. They will still obey him, of course. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the contrast. Here we go. Yeah, from the corpse. Can I just mention that I really find it interesting that Yukimasa just thinks nothing of killing the Lord. He's just another person murdered by him. But obviously this has justification because it was for Michelle's sake rather than for sadism. Being sadistic. Oh yeah, it's cold. Yeah, I can't imagine how cold it must be actually, especially... Oh god, it's probably all made of stone, the flooring. Yeah, it must be horrible. You must have the worst living conditions. You really must. Yeah. Also, it's this CG, yeah. Okay. Her face looks really unusual. Is this the same? I mean, obviously we see a different CG in the good ending. Oh, wait. Wait, no, actually, no. And let's just see what happens in the good ending, because I just wanted to get myself a reminder. Because obviously we see the CG with Michelle picking Morgana up. But I just wonder if Michelle's going to be able to get through to Morgana here, unlike in the other one. Like in the other one, even. Right, okay, here we go. God, so we're going to see a proper change of heart with Jacopo here. And a very, very powerful, more moving ending. Yes, we do see this CG. But obviously we see this, which we're probably not going to see now. Yeah, just seeing Morgana's painful condition. And also, I suppose, just seeing how awful her face looks and how it's just a proper representation of how horribly she's been treated. And how Jacopo has completely dehumanized himself. Oh, yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Well, she's probably just... I mean, she is probably alive, but she's so mentally stricken that she looks as if she's dead. Yeah, fully fair. Yeah, that was a very good question. But ultimately, it was just some ridiculous man's horrible desire to make money. In the end of the day, this is all this was, and that's the most disgusting thing. Yeah, treating her like a fucking animal. I mean, what is the point? It's so inhumane. That makes it even worse, if anything. Yeah, and suicide probably. I didn't realise the window was really quite high up. I'm surprised. Yeah, Jesus Christ. It just shows... No, it just shows somebody who is properly... I don't know, they're just in the worst condition and they will do absolutely anything to get away from it. And I suppose she's treating these people with violence and disrespect just because she finds them absolutely disgusting, as we could see in her story, but also I suppose loss of sanity as well. Let's be honest here, it's inevitable. Yeah, it's horrible. Oh, of course. Yeah, probably just making another reason for him to hate the Lord even more. I don't think an apology is going to cut it. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at how awfully you have treated her. And you're just trying to apologise? Right. Yeah, God, so I do wonder what we're going to do. Are we going to free her chains? Isn't it interesting? Just no anything, no conversation or anything from Morgana. God, and it really is just as if you were speaking to somebody who was a dead woman. It's just unbelievable looking at her face, to be honest. Just to think about the fact that people did this to her. Yeah, God, and he's just doing everything he can. He probably can't get through to her. But it's interesting, the absence of the white-haired girl. And the absence of her belief. But I suppose Jacopo... No, I suppose... She realised that she was the person who was suffering in all of these stories. So obviously she wanted to... I suppose she wanted to make Morgana safe so that there was no possibility of her giving into hatred, and obviously after she died and the white-haired girl being born. But I suppose she just didn't really realise what had happened. The only time we see the white-haired girl is if we make all the right choices. We just can't get through to her. How can you ever say to somebody as scarred as this that they will be able to return to their old life? That's like saying the world's going to end tomorrow. Well, to be fair, you can't actually deny that possibility. Sure, every day's been the same, but that doesn't necessarily mean tomorrow's going to be the same. Anyway, yeah, but the chances are so low that... Or maybe they're not. Maybe world's going to go nuclear tomorrow, who knows? Anyway, I should really shut up. Yeah. Yeah. Is Morgana ever going to see? But the only thing is, I mean, this kind of really reinforces Morgana's message when, what I think is Morgana's message, when Michelle was in Morgana's past room and just seeing how she was in the past and how that was the woman that she would never be able to return to. She's just gonna die. No matter what happens, she dies. And she will never find peace with the people, no matter how much Michelle has tried to understand them here. But, what? You're telling me she's seeing Michelle for the Lord, maybe just because of his long hair or something? Wait, isn't a charlatan somebody who has affairs? Or am I thinking of... Oh, right. Don't know where I got that from. Person falsely claiming to have special knowledge or skill. So basically just a fraud. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And isn't it interesting when you see Morgana's perspective and you see just how she hates these people? And then you just think about how ridiculous it must be. Yeah, sure, they had their circumstances, but they had still done what they had objectively done. It just seems so ridiculous for all of this to be able to give any peace to her. I mean, obviously, in the good ending, it gives peace to her in the... in the moments after she's died. Gives her soul peace. Because she realises that these people weren't doing them purely out of hatred and they weren't doing it for their own will. And she was able to see again and see another perspective. Oh my god, she thinks of Michelle as the Lord. Yeah, God, just look at how empty she is. And this is kind of the makings of why she is so consumed by hatred. But of course she would be. Who would not be in her situation? I find it really interesting that Morgana, even though Michelle is obviously acting different to the Lord, she still doesn't really see anything apart from the Lord in Michelle. It's interesting, that. Yeah, she's just not having it. She really isn't. God, you can really just see how, if you ask me, she's just facing cognitive decline. I mean... you can just really see how she's just totally dying. Yeah, God, she's just not listening at all. Just Just look at how ridiculous it was for Michelle to think that he could get through to her. It's impossible. God, she's just totally drunk on this idea now. This is the only thing she will say. God, what now? Yeah, you're just totally imprisoned in the mansion. Nothing changes. I mean, this is quite literally your own world. Yeah. I mean, you're falling so fast. No wonder you can't. Yeah, he's just totally becoming a part of the mansion in a way. What? Yeah, what is something? That's weird. Me? What? Who the hell is this? Yeah, so that kind of explains this. It's interesting that this is Morgana. So I suppose it's quite surprising when you think about the birth of Morgana, sorry, the resurrection of Morgana, when Michelle was in the observation tower and he kind of reawakens Morgana by, I mean, quite literally hugging her corpse and just thinking about how this one unfortunate person could have really related to him. Yeah, and it's just kind of like this. You see somebody who, well, at the heart of all of this hatred is loneliness. And I suppose you see Morgana's spirit maybe The spirit just kind of subconsciously knows that Michelle is not a bad person, and that Michelle isn't the Lord, which is quite surprising. Surprising that these spirits are different, and what they know is different. What a weird ending. I like what they did there. God, yeah, darkness everlasting. That does make sense, because rather than the light coming in and interfering with the darkness, with the white-haired girl, everything just totally is in decline. That was actually a really quite interesting ending, and especially considering that, in a way, it was kind of a good ending. Because Michelle and Morgana, they fade into the darkness, and obviously they fade into just nothingness, obviously completely still, tied towards the mansion. But at the same time, they die. And while that does mean nothing can continue, it does kind of mean that no suffering can happen. But obviously, that is if this world was changing the future, which it isn't. Obviously, this world has had a white-haired girl which has not seen the truth, hasn't realised anything, and as a result of that, the world that is real can't have a good ending. Because obviously the world that's real in this part of the story has a bad ending. And I suppose the real world ending... Real world, dude, it's the realm of the dead. But yeah, that ending is the same as this one, in a sense. Because everything just fades into darkness. Gazelle's soul, Michelle, Morgana, the white-haired girl, especially. It all dies. Now we're going to look at the final ending. Alright, okay, so we do still talk with the white-haired girl here. But I suppose it's after we talk with the white-haired girl, and we go, we depart from the mansion, and sure, we probably see the light, but we don't see Georges. That's what happened in the ending. I think this is a time choice, so I'm just going to save here, just in case. Can't remember though. Yes, obviously there's the really quite nice scenes of apologies with Morgana, and obviously her saying about the may we meet again in the boundless sphere of fate. I like that quote. It just really sounds like something Morgana would say, and it just totally encapsulates the mystery of her character as well. Okay, here we go. It's not timed. Right, let's go. Sorry, Georges. Fuck you. But yeah, so I suppose we don't save all of the people, so Michelle's soul isn't truly... So these people came to the mansion, and their souls were kind of tied to the mansion because of the fact that Michelle's was. So I suppose if we don't save all of them, then the curse of the mansion isn't truly lifted, because it's not lifted for everybody. It's still there to a certain extent. So I suppose that kind of means that even though lots of souls have been freed, not all of them have. So I think it still means that the good ending can happen. No, actually, I don't think it does. Well, I think the good ending can happen for everyone apart from like, Michelle, Georges, Georges and Didier. Maybe he's not going to be saved. I like that, yeah. It's interesting that in the other ending, even though everything doesn't go successfully, we still don't get this, because surely Michelle, even though he wasn't successful, went seriously far for Morgana. So it just kind of surprises me that we don't see this. Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, I suppose we're leaving the mansion and then we're going to see Didier. Oh yeah, no Georges means we're going to be killed by Didier. Never mind about the bad ending, because we're going to disintegrate. Gazelle's going to be lonely. Morgana's going to probably be grief-stricken by the failure. Yeah, okay. Now I've got more of an idea. I forgot about that detail. That's why saving Georges is so important as well. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I suppose the good thing about not having Georges there is at least we have a serious departure. I still prefer the one with Georges, obviously. True. Our souls will live on. Are you sure about that? I suppose Morgana's a little bit less confident about the end here than she was before. The future it holds is your death. I might reread this, why not? Oh, I timed that so well with the music. I love that. Yeah. Powerlessness. Yeah. Even Morgana screaming, that is never something you ever would have expected. Yeah. And it is interesting, that kind of provides a real indication of how Michel has moved on from all of his trauma compared to how Morgana has moved on from everything. He's mad. He really is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, God, he's killed. Just like before. Interesting. Yeah, this is your killer. He can't get through to him. And even in the good ending, he was stabbed in the gut. Your own curse, exactly. Yeah, fair enough. He still understands Didier, even though he can never get through to him. That's interesting. It doesn't, but it has. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because you don't want his soul to suffer in this deranged state for any longer. How? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you have no means of defense. Oh my god, so it actually does appear. That's cool. He still has love for his brother, isn't that interesting? I just find it really surprising. I mean, I suppose Michel has changed significantly and he's really gotten over everything that's happened, but still, it's just interesting that he never could hate his family, even in the endings where he is less heroic. because both of the souls will die. This is the worst ending of all of them. Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Isn't it ironic when he says this? Because this is the choice where we have left his brother behind, i.e. Georges. Will there ever be Bountiful Light without him? What's the CG gonna be? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, farewell. Farewell to Michelle and Didier, but also to Georges, because he's never going to be freed from the mansion. I suppose farewell to him as well, because of the fact that he's gonna always be there. I just want to see quickly how this kind of contrasts to the ending where we obviously see Georges and see all of his regret for having painted the photo. Oh my god, Michelle's amazing art skills as well. So what makes him change? Yeah, I suppose Georges' sacrifice being in vain really drives Michelle on. Yeah, he's just so much more powerful. Michelle in the other ending understands what is driving him mad, but at the same time he's just not nearly as good as delivering the message as he is here. Yeah. Right, well, anyway, that is everything I wanted to do today, and we saw some pretty cool stuff today. I think obviously the highlights were, I think, that really funny choice, and where we saw all of Michelle's romance options, and how Michelle can get him into a million bad predicaments. Let's be honest here, but yeah, there were some good things that we saw today, and I think just having the added layer of depth on especially the ending, both of them actually, I think they're quite valuable. And it's interesting to see just how different everything is without the involvement of the white-haired girl as well in Morgana's ending. It was quite cool. And yeah, that choice with Mel not being able to see the light of day, and obviously us not going after Nelly, that was nice as well. So yeah, tomorrow we're going to be reading the backstage. Now I just want to check. Yeah, we've got all of the endings now. Yeah, here's the achievement if you're interested. Here it is. So we've got only 2 more achievements left. So I'd assume one's for completing the backlog, and then there's this other achievement that I'm going to get after Sorry, I meant the backstage. There's another achievement I'll get after. I'll do the backstage and then we'll read that. But yeah, anyway, I've got no idea what the backstage is going to be about. So yeah, hopefully it'll be quite interesting. Can I just mention, I don't really think I've commented on this image, but it looks really, really nice. I'm wondering if I think this is part of the image with obviously Gazelle and Michelle and the good ending. I just want to check though. Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, it's a really nice ending. And this ending, I mean, it's obviously by far the best one. And it's really, really cool how we see the future of all of these characters and how it develops and how Michelle is a man. I mean, how unbelievable is that? That's something I never thought I'd see. Imagine if there's a kind of like a side story where Michelle and Gazelle have their new relationship. Or just in general, a side story for any of the souls. Yukimasa's side story, I think, would be quite cool. Because he's now an engineer, I think. Which is quite surprising. Oh, no, was he an engineer or a steel worker? Yeah, he's an engineer. Yeah, that is quite cool. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to go now, and then, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for probably one of the last parts we're going to do in the base game. But obviously, I'm not really thinking... I usually have just kind of a bit of sentiment for the fact that something's ending, but I don't really have that for this game, just considering that Requiem for Innocence is going to be the next thing we do. Like, I think after Requiem for Innocence, that's when I'm going to have all of the sentiment for ending the game, just because that's still part of... No, actually, to be fair, Requiem for Innocence is a side story, but I've heard that it is as good as the main content from some people, so... don't really know what to think. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.